Hallo, ich heiße Ian Malloy und ich bin ein Trainer bei 4 e.V., also das schon kennt ihr, also Verein für internationalen und interkulturellen Austausch. Ich hoffe, ihr seht einen Link für unsere Facebook-Seite, ja, könnt uns liken an Facebook. Und ich leite Seminaren wie eure jetzt seit 2008 und ich finde, es ist nötig, nicht nur über Pflege zu sprechen, menschliche Zusammenarbeit, wie geht man dem Klienten um, interkulturelle Aspekte und so was zu sprechen, sondern auch ein bisschen weiter zu sprechen, nämlich über die politische Dimension. Also, in dieser Präsentation, die ihr gleich sehen werdet, es geht um Disability Hate Crimes, also Diskriminierung Menschen mit Behinderung gegenüber und was das für eine Verbindung zu Austerität hat. So, später, ihr werdet besser verstehen, was das überhaupt heißt. So, Disability Hate Crimes, Austerität und dazu die Finanzierung von Sozialvorsorge und Sozialhilfe. Also ich weiß gar nichts über eure Klienten, ob sie überhaupt Sozialhilfe bekommen. Und das würdet ihr auch nicht wissen. Ich glaube, ihr würdet nicht dahin gehen und am ersten Tag fragen, okay, wo kommt das Geld her? Nein, ich glaube das nicht. Ja? Vielleicht ist es kein direktes Thema für eure Klienten, aber doch Sozialhilfe, Sozialvorsorge ist ein Thema für das Thema, relevant für das Thema Behinderung im Allgemeinen. Also ja, diese Präsentation geht nur über die UK, also ich weiß, manche von euch gehen nach anderen Ländern, Finnland, Frankreich, Kanada, US, noch andere Länder? Vielleicht, ich kenne die Lage in Großbritannien sehr gut einfach, deswegen ich wollte die Präsentation gemacht. Ich bin in Wales geboren, habe auch in England gewohnt und ich habe viele Informationen an der Internet gefunden über sowas, solche Fragen seit Jahren. Mein Französisch, ich spreche gar kein Finnisch, deswegen ich kann keine Recherche da machen. Irland und die US und Kanada habe ich weniger Informationen gefunden, aber ich schlage vor, dass in dem zweiten Teil von diesem Präsentation über Austerität, dass die Leute nach Großbritannien gehen können, diesen zweiten Teil sehen und die Leute, die nach anderen Ländern können, Recherche machen, aber da kommt mehr Information von den Trainers. So noch wichtig zu sagen, dass also ich würde jetzt über politischen Themen sprechen. Alles, was ich hier vertrete, ist meine Meinung. Es ist nicht unbedingt die Meinung von 4 e.V. Ganz wichtig zu sagen. So, now, I don't know what language you're going to be working in. I imagine a lot of you are going to be working in English. So therefore this presentation is going to be in English. And in any case, there are certain things in English, to translate them into German gets a bit complicated. So I just find it easier to just use the English language. So for some of you, it will be a chance to practice listen to the language you're going to be using while you're going to be volunteer. Or the language you're going to be using at the beginning, if you're Finnish or whatever, isn't so good. So I hope you understand. You will not be able to tell me to speak slower, of course, because I'm not with you. Anyway, so there we are, started with that. The presentation, you don't have to look at my face anymore. So, disability hate crimes in the UK. Or an alternative title, Austerity in the UK. Austerity in German means Austerität. Later on in this presentation I will describe what it actually means. Now, disability hate crimes began to be recorded in the UK from 2008. Before then they were not. In Germany they are not now. And we're talking England and Wales here, we're not talking about Scotland and Northern Ireland. So if you're looking at a figure for 2008-2009, there were 1,211 incidents. And then when you look through the years, you're seeing they went up a quarter, almost by a fifth, and then as time's going on, say 2014-15, 2015-16, they're increasing by quite a lot. So over this whole time period, disability hate crimes have more than doubled. So there's a few questions for you that I'd like you to deal with all together, or in client groups, whatever you're extremely competent trainers will think. So the first question is, why do you think that disability hate crimes happen? Secondly, why do you think that they have more than doubled since 2008? Press pause and then you can discuss that. Right, so I do this kind of presentation with my groups, and they'll tend to say that disability hate crimes happen because there's a general prejudice against them, against people with disability, that they maybe give some examples of people they know who have autism, who were bullied in school. And when it comes to the second question, they will say there was a financial crisis in 2008, and after that, people feeling more secure, and then attacking people who are weaker, socially weaker than they are. And there is some truth in this, yes indeed. You're looking at the financial crisis of 2008. It was the biggest crisis the UK has seen in terms of finances since the Second World War. Now, I want to just move away from this presentation here and just look at when we're talking about hate crimes, what are we talking about? I mean, a survey that was done, this was done in England, Wales, and also in Scotland, and it showed that if you're looking here, that 47% of those who were asked said that they'd been attacked or frightened by someone because of their disability. 1 in 5 of them had suffered an attack once a week. Those who with learning difficulties are those most likely to be targeted, as well as those who have mental health conditions and visual impairment. Of those who were attacked, 35% were physically assaulted, 15% were spat at, and 18% had something stolen from them. Another survey of you seeing here, 8,500 members of people who are deaf, found that only 23% of respondents felt safe walking through the neighbourhood at night. 14% found that they had feeling physical or verbal assault because of their deafness and hearing loss. And then when one moves here, you're finding that 90% of respondents who lived in local authority housing have been victimized. As a local authority housing, this means like Sozialwohnung. 22% had been physically assaulted. Findings also show that 27% of people who answered were sexually harassed, 41% were victims of ongoing bullying, and 62% were being called names such as schizo, nutter, or freak, often by gangs of youths or neighbours. The majority of them said they were dissatisfied with the response they received from the authorities. Now, of course, when we're talking about these statistics that I just showed you, the big increase in disability hate crimes, this is, of course, based upon what the police know. Now, it doesn't mean, of course, that all disability hate crimes are being reported to the police. But, sorry, I'll just go here. You say many crimes have been unreported. The most reason that the police they didn't think the police would do anything, 36%. The police would not be interested, 31%, or the incident was too small. Now, this report here by the Papworth Trust also goes on to say that there's problems with access with police centres. Do they have wheelchairs? Do they have lifts if they have to go upstairs? Are the people who are there, are they skilled with dealing with people who are deaf, who have mental health problems? So you're also seeing here that disability hate crimes being shown here, there's actually, as a number, a smaller proportion of them compared to racist hate crimes, which dominate. Disability hate crimes about like 8% of all disability hate crime in all of all hate crimes in this time period. And they were showing also public order offences. This means being abused on the street is like a big share here. Then when we're talking about violence with injury, then here in the purple, violence without injury, and then moving on into criminal damage, arson, or some other kind of offence. Now, so these figures that we have here, as I said, they're just they're the minimum of what is taking place. Now, to come back to the reasons why these are taking place. Well, here's an article from 2012. Anti-scrounger rhetoric has blamed for the doubling offences since the 2008 financial crisis. Scrounger in German, this means Sozialschmarotzer, a word also used in German discourse. Research shows that between 50%, the people believe that between 50 and 70% of those who are on disability benefit, meaning those who are getting Sozialhilfe because of the disability, are not really disabled, they are lying. Now, if you're then looking here, these are kind of examples of some of the things you're seeing in newspapers talking about scroungers, work-shy people. 75% of people on sick benefit are actually work-shy, skiving. And this here shows you the big increase in the use of these kind of words in the media from 2009. Largely used in newspapers like the Daily Mail, the Daily Express, and also the Sun. Yeah, and to a lesser extent other newspapers. So this is coming from newspapers, from the media. However, it's not just them. You get in Ian Duncan Smith, the Work and Pension Secretary, who is saying here at the bottom, we're going to push through the benefit reforms, and also, I mean, his actually quote was, there's been a big increase in the amount of people who are on disability benefit, and we don't know if all of these people are really disabled. Kind of hinting a lot of people are scroungers. I mean, in fact, you may think, why are there more people on disability benefit? This is true. In fact, the population is getting older. This is a reason for this. And according to this article here, this kind of rhetoric is leading to disability hate crime on the street. So as at this point, you should look at the YouTube video that's been shown. Right, now you've seen that video. Francesca Martinez speaking in that. She's very good. If you look her up on YouTube, she's a good way of training your ability to listen to people with learning impediments. But anyway, a few questions for you to discuss in small groups or whatever your very cool trainers think. How easy do you think people with disabilities can find work? The second question, what barriers exist to them working or finding work? You think like in Germany, if you've done the quiz already, it's like of those who are long-term unemployed, there's about 46% of them have eine Schwerbehinderung. Yeah. And the third question, so if you were given, I mean, if you're thinking that the media are complaining about some people who are so-called work-shy people, yeah? But let's talk about you. Let's not talk about other people. You can only talk about yourselves now. If you were to be given 1,000 euros a month, I mean, rising with inflation, for the rest of your life, would you still work? I mean, you could work. You could earn more than 1,000 euros per work if you were to work. So would you still work if you got this money? Yeah. You can discuss that. Right, now you've discussed that, just to say with the third question about 1,000 euros a month, this is actually an experiment about the universal basic income in German, the bedingungslose Grundeinkommen. A few experiments have been done, like in Namibia, I mean in Finland, where it was shown that people keep on working. They're given the money, they don't have to work, but they carry on working, and in fact they work more than they usually do. They feel more motivated. In Finland it was shown the same, and that there's people that are less stressed because of this. Now, I'm not totally an advocate for the universal basic income. I'm just saying the question, there are lazy people. Well, I leave it open whether they actually really are.